First off, let me cheers to you. You are here. This is a very big event for me because we are talking about something brand new. This is a brand new workshop that I have never done before, and I have all sorts of good information in there for you, all about becoming a vacation rental design expert, short-term rental SDR expert, Airbnb design expert, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're talking about, right? Okay, so let us jump in. I see, great, you're all in. Who is this for? If this is brand new, if you've never been on one of my workshops before and you're like, what is this girl drinking her wine doing? Um, we do these on a regular basis. They're a lot of fun. And it really, I do these and they're really geared towards new stagers and designers. Anyone thinking about that industry, you love design, you want to dip your toe into it. This one in particular for Airbnb hosts, people that have properties, or even agents who are thinking or looking into Airbnb design, trying to figure out how to break into that industry. Veteran stagers and designers, you're actually really going to love this one, and even my design enthusiasts. So if any of those fit you, go ahead in the chat and say yes, me. Oh, I love it. You're still introducing yourselves because you just jumped in. That is wonderful. I know I'm already racing in. We're 2 minutes in and we're going, but I'm going to go fast. I got a lot to go over. Basically, if you like to see before photos like this turn into after photos like this, my screen's always a little slower, then you're really right there with me. Or before photos like this. Oh, look at this room. I love this. This is my sister's work. After photos like this, I always share. My sister still has the staging business we started way back when. She does it in Santa Cruz. Let's talk about everything I'm going to go over. And I hope that you guys have your phone so you can do quick screenshots of the screen. You've got notes because, whoa, I'm going to do a lot. We're going to talk about, first of all, I have to go back and make sure you have a pretty good understanding of the short-term rental market, STRs, people call it STR, vacation rental, Airbnb, that market overall. Why this market needs you, and some critical statistics that should pretty much blow your mind and really excite you. How adding this lucrative design service really benefits your business, or can really benefit your business. I'm going to walk you through that. And then also just how to get started, some first steps. Then I'm going to talk about some trade and retail, shopping, design, hot tips, some sources, how to crush the service and make money. I'm going to show you lots of case studies and photos along the way, and the easiest and best way to market. So lots of stuff. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Audra Slinky. I am president of the Home Staging Resource. I started that company back in 2006. It was the first kind of online mixed media staging and design kind of training company of its kind. And I blog for the National Association of Realtors, my own blog. I've won wonderful awards from the Real Estate Staging Association for almost actually every one of my training products has gotten the most innovative product of the year. For all those years, I've shared the stage with Barbara Corcoran, Vern Yip, Sabrina Soto. But the thing that I absolutely love, what gets me up in the morning every morning, is helping people like you, because you told me you love design or you're in the design world, make money doing what you love, whether you're a veteran, whether you're new, whether you're middle, or whether you're just wondering how you can do it. That is the thing that really lights my heart on fire through my training courses. This was my first course, the staging course. Then I added a color course. Then I launched an expert e-design course in 2018. And that was the last time I actually launched a course. So I'm very excited now today, because here we are in 2023, gosh, time flies, talking about vacation rental design. This is a view. So in case you're wondering, okay, well, what does she know about vacation rentals or Airbnb design? This is a view from one of mine. I have an Airbnb both on the lake and in the snow. And boy, the one in Mammoth, if you live anywhere near there, is getting pummeled with snow. I know that you guys know exactly what I'm thinking. So I have a bit of experience, but I want you to know that this training that I'm showing you is not based upon just my experience. And this is how I always structure my trainings because I am so fortunate because I am networked with thousands of expert stagers and designers in the industry very closely with my Stagers Connect group who have generously shared all of their experience, wisdom, pitfalls, insights when it comes to short-term rental design. So I interviewed all of these top stagers in that industry to create this complete course and solution for you. You're getting a taste of it today to offer this niche service. So it's not just based on me, it's based on all of those people who were very generous. I could spend a long time thanking each one individually, but I actually have quite a few of them in here as case studies as a thank you to them. Throughout this workshop, you're going to see some of their stories and their work so that you kind of get an example of what's also inside this new training. Let's get started. Let's just get back to basics. I think you guys know what an Airbnb is, and I'm sure you've probably stayed in one. But I always, in case you don't, it is an online marketplace that lets people rent out their properties or spare rooms. And the interesting thing is, VRBO, Verbo has been around forever. But when Airbnb came onto the scene, it just blew that industry apart. And it's becoming more commonplace than hotels. Airbnb obviously stands for Air Bed and Breakfast. And in 2007, I don't know if you know this, two roommates actually started it. They lived in San Francisco because a design conference had sold out. And they basically rented three air mattresses in their space. And they thought, wow, this is cool. Anybody can do this. And they created the platform. Pretty cool, right? And if you haven't been on this platform, what I love about going onto this platform is all of the cool places that you can stay. Oh, I'm going to see if this video works. Hopefully it does with all of you guys on it. But basically, I did like a quick scroll. It may not work. I think it's just too. Oh, yeah, you can see. You can stay in castles. You can stay in tents. You can stay in chalets. You can stay in little hobbit homes. I mean, you can stay in so many different places, and that's what's so fun about it. What makes Airbnb kind of unique too from VRBO, so I'm really going to focus on that, is it's just got so many alternative listings. I mean, maybe you saw some of their ads. Did any of you see some of their latest ads where they're doing farms and cabins, tiny homes, boats, and it really fuels people's sense of adventure. And in case you were wondering, maybe I want to put my own Airbnb on the market, but it's not fancy. Did you know that the most popular Airbnb in the world is a 100 square foot mushroom dome retreat in Aptos, my hometown? How funny is that? So the more creative, the better, which I don't know about you. I say this because that gets my design juices flowing. Do you hear me? I love it. Yeah. It really is the epitome of the sharing economy. Um, it started in 2008 and it's just had huge, huge growth post COVID. 14,000 Airbnb hosts. And I have to say, what is an Airbnb host? Those are people that own the space or they manage the space and they list it on the platform. Yeah. Oh, I've got some super hosts. I love it. Yes. 14,000 each month are added to the platform. That's a lot of competition these days. So it used to be, back in 2020, just a couple years ago, you had 100% occupancy rates. But now with everybody and their brother wanting to be an Airbnb owner, including myself, you have to vie for that competition. You more eyes on your property, and it's kind of exciting because anybody can be a hotel owner, and the rentals have grown 1,000%. I love it. I've got my hosts on here. That's wonderful. Fast facts. I'm just going to blow through these. 1 billion guests have stayed at Airbnb. 220 countries. I mean, 60% of Airbnb's user base, this is what you really need to know, are millennials. What does that mean to us? Well, the millennials have been fueling this phenomenon, this high growth. Airbnb has been growing almost year over year, like 27, 28%. And it's been fueled by that kind of generation. But interestingly, and this is what kind of excites me when you think of a high growth industry that you can become a part of, is by 2025, the last sentence in this paragraph, millennials and the younger generations, the Gen Zs, those are my kiddos, and yes, they love Airbnbs, will account for 75% of all consumers and travelers. And you know what they like to do? They like to travel. They like to go to Airbnbs. They love the adventure. So this generation really represents Airbnb more than any other. It's travel is deeply important to them. They're always looking for something new. They're not settling for just a bed, a pillow, and a blanket. They want something unique. They want something well designed. They're looking for those Instagrammable moments in the space. Am I getting your design juices flowing here? Um, so that's what kind of makes it exciting. And that has grown, what is it? Airbnb's community, roughly 6% of all guests have ever booked an Airbnb are millennials. Um, Finally, if you're wondering how Airbnb is doing financially as a company, well, last year they made 2.88 billion. I love it. I love it. You guys are great. If you're not familiar, so I'm just giving you a little brief rundown of this industry to kind of give you a little taste. Are you familiar with Airbnb experiences? A lot of people that I've been talking to didn't even know it, especially in my generation. It basically is not just a place to stay, but it's an immersive experience into the culture, food, scenery, and location of the area. That really speaks, obviously, to that younger generation who wants to immerse themselves into that, yeah, space. You can create an experience in your own hometown. Anybody can. I checked out my own. I'm going to Europe in May, and I'm actually doing only experiences. I didn't even use tours or anything. I just went straight through Airbnb experiences because they are all run by locals. So they do the marketing and then it goes up. So from a design side, there's a lot of ways you can actually market different things in that platform under experiences. So it's kind of exciting. And it can also be an avenue for income and marketing. I'll be curious. Yes, I am talking design. Don't worry, you guys. Here are some of the experiences. And here, when you're on the platform, if you just go to when you're going to check in, there's the little tab for experiences. For those of you who have not seen it, and recently they just added online experiences, which I had not seen before. It really like in the last couple weeks. All right. So why is design and staging so critical? Why is it so important that maybe you as a business break into this industry? This kind of astronomical growth means there's just more competition in the Airbnb world. It's harder for people's listings to stand out. Um, More, it's just like anything, when there's a lot of inventory, more, eyes and things, you just want to get attention. And it's not enough these days to just simply list your rental, you know, put a bunch of Target furnishings in there or what have you, and throw it on the market. It has to actually speak to your target guests and it has to stand out in that crowded marketplace. If you're a stager on this line, does this sound familiar to you? If you were a stager back in 2006 when nobody even knew what staging was and people were just throwing their homes on the market, does this sound familiar? And then it was like, nope, if you really want to make money, if you really want to stand out, if you really want to make the income that you can make, you got to dial it in. Yes, that's what excites me. So it is all about the photos and the description using those keywords. Hosts, obviously, they lose money when that property is not occupied. They can raise their prices when that rental is dialed in because I've already talked to you about that generation. And that's why I had to mention that this is what they're looking for. They're not just looking for four walls, and a ceiling and a roof. They're looking for something special. So it is kind of simple economics. It's similar to the benefits of staging. Good design is an investment. And the fun thing about this, I'm going to mention this even later, is there's a lot of statistics that back up the benefits of good design when it comes to your short-term rental and how it increases your nightly prices, your nightly rates, and your occupancy. So, in highly competitive markets, this is like staging on steroids, which really excites me. And it's really easy if you are a current stager and designer, which I know most of you are, to add this sort of service to your business. I just did a post where I listed the 10 benefits of of why you should and how it kind of does benefit you. But what I love about it is it's business to business mostly. So you kind of make more money by offering this kind of design service. It's justifiable spending, especially by the hosts, in order to kind of get that super host designation and to get those rave reviews. Similar to the home seller, it's hard for hosts to be objective. If they don't have that eye for design, it's like them trying to create this master chef meal and never knowing, don't not really knowing how to cook, right? So all you all told me you had that eye for design. There's a huge need for you there. And then the other factor is most of these hosts or most of these owners are remote, so they can't even be there to design the place a lot of times. So let's talk about why you can rock this service. The market is massive due to that growth, so it's highly lucrative. The soaring supply, it's 23% year over year right now, means just they need you. Occupancy rates have recently fallen. I think that'll change. This was just over the, winter months, holidays, but that just depends because there are, some people's short-term rentals are, hot during the winter months. So they've fallen in the largest markets, I think because of that competition, and that's why I'm excited about this training. So the need to stand out in the crowded marketplace is critical. And you have a luxury client base. So for my designers and stagers who are tired of people with their super small budgets, here's a recent article I just pulled. Too many rich people bought Airbnbs and they're sitting empty. The good news is they have the funds to really dial it in, step it up, um, and make it actually stand out if they're approached the right way. Whoops, let me go to. Here's the other thing. I'm speaking. So somebody asked, speak if you don't have a staging and design company. If you don't, you might actually want to even start doing this too. Very few designers and stagers are tackling this high growth market. Hardly any of them have even a page on their site where they do this. Even rare are the ones that are actively marketing to partners. These partners are easy to find. They're looking for specialists like you to make them look good, and they need you. And when I talk about partners, when I talk about marketing, I mean people who are Airbnb vacation, property managers, real estate investors, mortgage bankers, realtors, all those things. How many of you have done, my stagers and designers have done Airbnbs in the past? Go ahead in the chat room and put yes. All right, so let me show you a story, a success case study. Trisha, she teamed up with a mortgage group. So if you're thinking about getting into this, a mortgage group is a great source to connect with. They basically want her to handle all their clients' Airbnbs in Orlando, Florida. How cool is that? She took my staging course where I did have a little bit of the Airbnb training, and her revenue went from 300 to 350K in the past 3 years. She was a stay-at-home mom. I love it. So sky's the limit just by doing that one thing. So there's so much need here for partnerships if you're doing this. Here's some of her work. She creates the concept board to the room, gives them the vision, and then they go with it. I love that. So with the right packaging, pricing, and marketing, which we're going to talk about a little bit, it's not hard to stand out and excel in this niche. Good. I love it. Several target markets. So when we talk about target markets, this is what I love about it. You obviously you can approach just the average to the host, the host that has the onesies. But what I love about this market is you have target markets who will constantly feed you business. That is in the form of your real estate investors. They hang out in groups. They're in Facebook groups. There's a lot of different places you can source them. Property managers that specialize in this, they're easy to connect with and partner with, and agents who understand better design. They understand that higher prices and occupancy rates, it's an investment in the outcome. I love it. And they're easy to find and market to. So out of the many stagers and designers who I interviewed, who do this kind of specialty, what I found interesting, and so this is really interesting for you because it's just not a lot of competition of stagers and designers who do this kind of work. No one was really actively marketing to those ideal target markets. They were just taking the business that came their way. Does that sound familiar to you? How many of you in the chat room are actively marketing? You have a beautiful website, you have a separate page just for short-term design, and you're actively hitting those markets. Oh, Boston Rob, I know you do. And Raina, you're a couple people I've talked to. I love it. Good, but there's not that many. I know. Not like staging, not like design. It's okay. I don't mean to shame you. I'm just giving you this glimpse. Here's another case study. Mitchell Page, I love, he was very, very generous and all the great information when we talked about his business and how he serves the rentals. But he just said an agent he knew who knew of his staging work contacted him about an investor client who needed their vacation rental furnished. And I love what he did. I'm going to show you. Here he did the design concept board for the living room, got the approval, and here's the after. Isn't that beautiful? Here's another photo. I love to share photos. You know you're in the right place with that. So obviously, you can see how this can benefit your business. You can expand your services. You make more money on each project. You're working business to business. It's a lot of opportunity for repeat business, which is kind of the thing that I absolutely love it because it is similar to staging, where you do get this repeat business. Janaea shared her story with me. She had actually met an investor who did just long-term residential rentals, and she helped him periodically. She took my course last spring, and you guys know in that course, there's just a little bit about Airbnb staging. And about that time, the investors she worked with were pivoting. Since that pivot, she has done 6 large projects. She does all the design, the purchasing, the installation. She does everything. And she has only worked with these investors. I don't even think she has a website or anything. So even for those of you who are like, "Oh, I've never even marketed or anything," Janaea hasn't even had an opportunity to, because now one of them needs her to be his full-time designer for 35 lakefront properties within the next 5 years, a winery, a lakefront resort, a 260 unit apartment complex, all of which she needs him to design and implement. So sometimes careful what you wish for, but I love to share those stories so you can see that. Um, the nice thing is there's less emotion too. Um, here's the deal though. A lot of people get kind of tripped up because it's less about budget, it's more about investment. And so we're speaking to clients based on what their investment is or what their budget is and not really what their investment is. Because similar to staging, when they're willing to invest more in a little bit more quality and long lasting furnishings, they're going to last better. Quality furnishings does save them in the long run. So the ability to get creative, you find the brand, the demographic, you have a lot more artistic leeway. It's just kind of fun. Here's another one. It's my last case study, but I have to share them with you guys because I know everybody likes to see the photos. Um, Lindsay, she said the one thing she said, this is just word for word, is this niche is unlike any other. She loves to think out of the box. She's creating more of an experience in the home versus design. So it's kind of this hospitality mindset. Whether it's for a whimsical kids room or just spaces for family, she loves to create unique experiences. One experience that she's had and she fully embraces is, again, there's just not as much pressure, there's less emotion. This is a business for that investor, and it enables her to spread her wings, come up with unique designs, and pack more punch. Here is the before photo. I mean, this is how, I've got to say, how many of you on the chat room can comment? This is how pretty much almost every rental in Mammoth looks like in the ski communities. This is in Big Bear. So it's not terrible, but it's not wow, you know. So it's just kind of creating, and you don't have to spend a lot to really create that, because let's be honest, we are professional shoppers. We know. Here's the before photo. And here is the after. So when she talked about experience, one of you said, "What does experience mean?" It's really kind of the brand of the home. On Airbnb, each time you have a title of the home, you get to kind of brand the space. So that particular cabin, she worked with the client in Big Bear, and it was surrounded by mountains, nature, beautiful trees. They decided to call it the Happy Trees Lodge as an ode to the late great painter Bob Ross. So, in addition to including lots of rustic mountain themed decor, she actually even renovated a lift chair and added little bears. But everything from Bob Ross coasters to a Bob Ross replica painting set atop an easel in the master suite helped to pull it all together. Right? I know. So it's just creative. This is the before photo, and this is a photo you're going to see on so many Airbnbs everywhere. And people kind of settle for this, but the reality is people will pay a whole lot more money for something like this. And this is the brand and the experience that she created in the space. Right? I love it. So let's talk about some of those hot tips. I know some of you are even putting in your hot tips. So, hey, if you have some hot tips for Airbnb design, go ahead and put it in the chat too. But it is about those photographable spaces. That's what really it's eyes on the home. Remembering the generation that a lot of times you're going to be designing for, or at least know the target market. Every area is different, right? Whether it's lake, whether it's mountain, whether it's college town. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can create that brand. Consider surprising and delighting the guest by those unexpected touches. It really is in the details. And this is where a lot of places get it wrong. Yeah, you don't wanna over-design. You gotta make it aspirational. I love that, Rob. So, how do you really get started? You wanna really go to Airbnb, you wanna search your area. You wanna really do that deep dive and look and note the most expensive and the least expensive in the same kind of heads and beds. So, look up, for 10 people in your area, why is the most expensive? Why do they get that price point? Why their least expensive gets this price point? Because that's the worlds they're playing in. So it's just doing some research. How do they compare? It's good for you to know. And by the way, note it. If it's one that's look at their calendar. If it's empty, this could be a very good potential future client for you. Um, because the more expensive ones are selling on amenities. And the reason why they can sell on amenities is because, according to a survey by Airbnb, 97% of travelers say that those amenities really do impact their travel experience. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for things that are special in the space. And it's not just the amenities, simple things like a coffee maker or a really nice espresso maker. It's the full set of wine glasses, or the thoughtfulness came in second. So they want to make sure that kitchen stock, that all those things are there for them. But they also looked for things that were special: a bottle of wine, a bicycle they could ride, a beach bag already packed with everything else. Because the reality is, those are inexpensive items that the investors can put in the space that actually go a very long way in guest satisfaction. And that sort of competition level is rising, where guests are starting to have more of an expectation, and especially guests who are paying hundreds of dollars a night. Do you agree with me? A lot of it comes down to what that guest's expectation is and how we can meet it. It's not just based on location. It's kind of you never in each location you have different price points, and you'll notice that when you do some of your research. So learn your demographic market, which ones you're designing to, and then understand the various investment levels. A luxury rental desiring $1,000 nightly fee produces the kind of guest that has an expectation. In my area, we have all sorts of levels from 150 a night to 5,000 a night. So it's really fun to look at the differences and understanding everything that goes into an Airbnb and communicating that cost to the client, because they don't always understand. And this is where I kind of get into what is also a little bit into my training. Into the training, I'm giving you a little taste of it, is in phase one. I walk you through, before you become a vacation rental design expert, you have to really understand the industry. So we really go into that. We do a lot of research. We're calling out potential clients, and giving you a ton of inspiration. Phase two is where you really need to know, as a designer, line up all your vendors, where are you going to shop, set up those trade accounts. So I walk you through every bit of that, know all the rules. I give you clickable guides, and then walk you through the marketing. And then phase three is a signature service. So there's 9 phases through it. But in phase one, where we're just talking about researching your market, these are important things to do. And this is where I think some designers kind of get it wrong, because they just don't always understand their current target market. Yeah. Look at you guys. So one way to obviously educate, so what we have in the training is the critical inventory checklist. This is a Canva template, obviously, that we give people where they can edit it to their heart's content. And obviously it has the intro. Any of you guys who are familiar with my trainings, you know I give these Canva templates, but they make it easy for you to give tools and resources to clients and add value. Um, so it's really about getting those checklists. And then we also have all those products that have been sourced on Amazon, because Amazon is an easy place. Can we all agree Amazon is probably the easiest place for just the basic essentials and for stocking the kitchen? So we even have the kitchen checklist and the replenishable. And one reason why you would want to go to Amazon for those kind of things for your clients is because you can, and I have that checklist, those shopping links, is because, yeah, easy returns comes the next day. And when a guest breaks those 4 wine glasses and you don't have a full set, you're like, "Oh, I got it at Home Goods. I can't find it again." I hate that, right? Then Amazon, it's so easy to just go into the orders or send that link to a client. And by the way, in the training, I do walk you through how you can make money, become an Amazon affiliate, and make money on those links, which is kind of a nice thing to do because it's a constant purchase that they're always going to do. Yeah, Miller, just become an Amazon affiliate. It's very easy. I talk about it in the training, but there's a lot of good things on Amazon, and we've sourced a lot of them already for you, so you can just basically make it your affiliate link and away you go. So here's the living room and the bedroom. So this is just one of the handouts that kind of helps to educate clients. I love it. Lori's like, and you can do it sitting in your PJs. I know, Lori. It is so fun. I do it watching TV. I find all my favorite Amazon favorites. So anyway, but like all the Canva templates that we give in my training, so this is just a glimpse of one of them. I have the closer because the whole point is that this is a lot of work. This adds up for them. And you can give them this list. It's a nice thing to do. And you may have seen several lists like this online, but maybe they didn't look as pretty because they weren't in Canva. But but it's just a nice thing. It shows the client all the work and all the materials that do go into it. And these lists, they are like key when you're filling a rental. So some ideas: mix high-low furnishings for a luxurious look. I know you guys probably know that, but you really do want to buy that high-performance fabric couches, ideally slip-covered, because that will last. I've found that a lot of times the couches, they just don't last if they stain easily. Same thing with kind of sturdy furniture. One thing you need to consider if you are doing a design job and you're buying a bunch of stuff on Wayfair and Amazon for your clients, you're kind of going at that lower level. You got to put all that together. How many of you guys have got stuck on assembling that furniture for your clients? Go ahead in the chat and put yes, me. It's pretty awful. So you don't really want to do that. And it doesn't really help your client because even though it may look good online, a lot of that stuff breaks pretty easily. The veneer shaves off. Trust me, I've seen it. All the people I interviewed agreed. So some of those items getting trade, mixing in those high, low quality is essential. And then also kind of splurging on some statement pieces, because you can save on a lot of other stuff. I talked about the Amazon. There's a lot. Pillow, decor, rugs. I know you guys are expert shoppers. You know how to put a room together that you can mix in low and high, but have that room still look luxury. Because we've all seen a space that doesn't. If it's 100%, Walmart or Amazon, then sometimes it shows that way. So bedding basics, mattress covers, all of those things you can get for cheap. Those aren't as important. You guys, such an active chat. I can't even keep up with it. But I have so much to go over with you. I'm just going to blaze through. Secondly, I talked about phase 2 in my training. I'm going to talk with you about, you really do have to know your design numbers. You have to be pretty good with floor plans. I mean, I'm pretty good. I just draw them out and then quickly put the measurements from the inside of the windows to the outside, to the window, to the wall, all that. But you got to be able to do that quickly when you're walking through a home, so that then you can assess the size of the furnishings that are needed. And for large spaces, right, you got to go larger scale. There's nothing worse than seeing a teeny small scale living room set that somebody got, don't want to pick on Amazon or IKEA because it was small. When it's a large space, it just feels off. So another thing too that I found is, where is that stuff receiving? How are you going to get that stuff to the home, to your space? A lot of your clients will be remote, so logistics do matter. The good news is there are a lot of trade sources. I know how many of you in the chat shop trade? So you guys know I have a free trade cheat sheet. I talk trade a lot. I really have the the trade training in this training that I put in is even better than any of my others, because each one of the vendors that I talk about, I list when they're good for what. Because some trade conglomerate vendors where you can shop hundreds of trade companies at once will deliver to a residence. And I know a lot of my designers don't even know that. While others don't, they want to deliver to a receiver, but you can still connect with a receiver locally and have that stuff shipped all at once to the home. Or if you're a stager and you have a warehouse and you have space, bam. But either one of those logistics for you, that's why I said, so if you don't have the space, there's a receiver, you can have it shipped to the home. If you do have the space, you can do that and do more full service. But there are logistics. So you have to know your situation, know what trade sources are best for each situation, and you have to evaluate that. Uh, and what I highly recommend, and this is where I think a lot of designers get it wrong, I'm going to talk about that, is incorporate trade product into your concept board. So once you kind of know you have that vision, put it in a concept board for the client, like I showed you that Mitchell does. Because what concept e-design boards, if you're not familiar, it's those vision boards, it's technology making your life easier because that technology makes it so while you're shopping online, you can click and drop that item into your design board really easily with, at a click of a button. And then you can also showcase that design board for easy upselling and client communication. Because a lot of times clients don't understand your vision or they don't understand the need to spend a little bit more on that high performance couch, but sometimes you have to show them, right? We're in the industry of show and tell. So in phase 2, I just kind of walked you through kind of what we do go over in the training, where I walk you through all those steps to kind of add that to your business, because before you can become the vacation rental design expert for your clients, you have to really understand the design know-how. Don't use Canva for a vision board. That will take you forever. Takes forever to do Canva. You're downloading images, uploading images. You got to get the links. Design files, design files, design files. I have a partnership with Design Files in my Expert Design training. A lot of you guys know this, where you get all of my templates in there. We're going to be creating some templates in there. So if you have that training, you're going to love some of the Airbnb templates. You've probably seen a little glimpse of it in your template file. But here is the vision board that Mitch put together for his client. And what I love about this is it shows the client enough to just go, wow, yes, yeah, I don't want to say no to anything, right? And here's the space. So do you think looking at a vision board like that, and then now you're seeing the outcome, that it's a little easier for Mitch to upsell better quality furnishings? Go ahead in the chat room and put yes or no. You tell me. Because this looks better than most vacation rentals, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah. Here is his master bedroom. And you can see, some of you who are expert shoppers, like I know where you can find things. You can see that these nightstands are trade probably, so are probably these really nice lamps, but the bed frame is probably not. So he kind of went high-low, which I think is really smart, but he goes high on the bedding, the luxe materials, and the art. The art is the signature piece. And you can see in the space what a difference it made. Yeah. And the windows. Mhm. So just so you know, on that one house, because I showed you the living room, I've showed you the couple bedrooms and the dining room that he did in that space, and I have a lot of case studies like these inside my training. He made 20,000 profit on that one Airbnb project. So that when I say this can be a very lucrative thing, when done well and priced right, I mean it. And he is amazing. And he, like I said, he's generously shared a lot of his materials and photos and all that for me. So I love him. Um, so what you also need to do, and this is a marketing standpoint, is you need to also know when it comes to this industry, there are different target markets, not just the ones I've listed that are investors, whatnot. It's how you're going to package your services to each target market, because each target market has their own struggle. So you need to be able to speak to it. And what do I mean by their struggle? I'm going to phrase it to you this way. Do you think somebody who has an existing Airbnb that doesn't look that great and it has furniture in it, but definitely needs a refresh, and they're not getting hardly any occupancy and their pricing's okay, and they know they need a designer, do you think their struggles are different than the person who just bought an Airbnb and it's totally empty and they're completely overwhelmed with how to furnish it? What do you think? Go ahead and put it in the chat room. Yes, obviously. Their struggle is that they need better pricing, they need better occupancy rates. The other person's struggle is they don't even know where to start. You give them that essentials list and they're just freaking out. And the point is, as a designer and stager, as a savvy business person, and this is what we never do enough of, we're not speaking directly to the struggle. If you can't speak directly to your client's struggle, this is just marketing 101. They're not going to understand you. You're going to say, you're not speaking to my struggle. My struggle is this. So you have to have an onboarding process, a systematic one that breeds kind of professionalism, expertise for you, credibility, but speaks also to that struggle. It really hits home. And this brings me to my last phase of the training, where I've developed a signature system for success. And this is an area after multiple interviews I'm really excited about, because it starts with that systemized, streamlined process that makes you look like a rock star, from your onboarding phone call to your contact form to your sheet to your materials, and then it's packages that your clients will love that speak to their struggle so they know exactly what package will fit them, to marketing this service so that your business grows exponentially. So what does that look like in the training? When we talk about a process for success for your clients, this is one that I would showcase. Where a client fills out a questionnaire, a form on your site, they get your investment guide for this service, they schedule a call because their interest is piqued. They've been a little pre-qualified because they know that you can't price or completely furnish an Airbnb for under $2,000, which they may think they can, but you can't. Nobody can. And then you go in for a consultation. You've got your design plan, order and install, and guess what? They're in demand. So what I did is I put this success path that's in the training, and of course it's completely editable because it is a Canva template, in a sheet that speaks to different clients, struggling with vacation design overwhelm. That is usually the case with a lot of your clients. So we have this. And so this is an example that I'd have of something you'd have on your site, contact form. This is created in Honeybook, but you can create it any other way, where a client goes to the form, they want your investment, they want your price and package guide, and they can click on the service that you offer, short-term rental. And I walk you through this kind of in your process. Some of you are familiar with this because I've talked about streamlined design. I talk about this in my Expert Design using Acuity or a scheduler. Honeybook is a great scheduler too, where everything is automated for you. Because the reason I want you to automate things is because when you start, I'm going to tell you, when you start introducing this kind of service as a designer and stager, you're going to be like Janaea. You're going to be busy with just one investor. And then I walk you through kind of the right questions to ask in the phone call. And then if you're familiar with my trainings, I give you the full investment guide for this type of service. And the investment guide, you might want to get your phone out, may look something like this, where you intro the benefits, the statistics of a well-designed Airbnb. And the good news is there's a lot of statistics to back you up. And then you introduce your business. This is kind of the way you structure it. Your team, if you have one, your portfolio, because that's key. Yes, you do need a portfolio. A lot of people ask that. And then you need to talk about the difference working with you. Good thing is we have all the copy for you. And then we even have more copy for you that you can inform, that you can copy and paste in there, that talks about why you are different, how you work, why this service is so important. And then we even give you more copy and paste recent. This is like in the staging world, RISA stats on steroids. We found all the statistics that back up good design and how that helps them. And then the other thing is we talk about, speaking to the struggle of the different people you're going to have. I just purchased a rental and it needs reservations. What service package do I need? I have an existing rental. I need better occupancy rates. What package do I need? And don't pay attention to any of those pricings because it's all different. I'm not showing you our packages because that's in the training. I can't do that. But we speak to it. We speak to the struggle in the investment guide. And I think that's really important. And that's something you can also copy and paste, put on your website. This is all material that we give you so that you can copy, paste, put on your website, have it as a service page on your site, and get business. Um, and then, of course, we also give you the FAQs because people have clients, questions, and you should have these on your site. You should be addressing them in your materials. And yeah, there's a lot of FAQs. And then, of course, calls to action, because the process that I've walked you through before will be, let's call, let's chat, let's book a discovery call. Here's my investment guide. Now you know my pricing. Let's see if you are a good client for me. Now, quick show of hands in the chat room. Do you think that I need to sell myself in that discovery call with this kind of pre-qualifying? If the client filled out the form, they got my investment guide, they saw all my good information, do you think, yes or no, I would need to sell myself a ton in the phone call? No, no, I don't. I don't. Because I've pre-qualified them. They already know I'm the expert. This is what I do. They're not going to find any other designer or stager locally who looks this good. I'm just going to tell you. Not a single one that has anything like that. That's one reason why we created this training. People know the training's not necessarily to help you do what you already know how to do, which is good design. It definitely has all that and the resources, vendors, things that you need to line up. But the training's just all about you looking good and not having to sell yourself. Because how many of you guys have worked with a nightmare client? How many of you done that? It's not fun. And that is where so many designers go wrong. It's where they go wrong. They don't have a credible, specific process in place. They're trying to price it like a designer. They're trying to go hourly instead of packaging like an expert. They're not educating on product costs. And this is a biggie because people don't know, okay, how much does furniture in a living room, even if it's just Amazon furniture, how much will that cost me? Well, guess what? In my training, we've looked through every single cost of things. And we have a decent, good, better, and we have the typical costs for it. Yes, I can find you a couch on Amazon for 500. Is that really where you want to go? And so we have it in a spreadsheet for you. And then we have it also in a Canva template, again, as a budget guide so they can build their budget. Because I think it's important for you to educate your clients because it's not their fault that they think that sounds expensive when you tell them your pricing. It's because they don't know how much goes into furnishing a space. Do you guys agree with me? I hope so. um, a lot of times designers in this space go wrong because they don't understand. There's no other designers or stagers in the space. I mean, you guys can be the guru in your space. You're on this launch team. You're the first, the hundreds of you, the 400 plus of you on this chat room and whoever else is going to be watching this replay. And whether you buy my training or not, and don't worry, I'm going to talk about that at the end. I just want to encourage you. There's so much opportunity, but these are the pitfalls. There's no competition for you. There's very few anyone in this industry doing this. Separately packaged, stair step the pricing. What does separately packaged mean? Do you really want to do the audio visual, the windows, all the furnishings, and the kitchen stocking for one price? No. So that's just, you got to understand it's a unique market and it's easy to package to various hosts, their struggles, their needs. Instead of just, what I'm seeing a lot of, and this is why I did this training, because the last couple of years, I see so many of my members doing this kind of work, but they're in kind of reactive mode where it's like, oh, one of my clients needs me to do this. I don't really know how to structure this, but here it goes. And luckily, a lot of those people I interviewed, and they were wonderful sharing a lot of their insights. And as you know, not actively marketing. I wish I could read this chat. I can't. I've just got to get through this. Hot tips for marketing is the last little bit. Target real estate investors, Airbnb property managers. Airbnb property managers get hit because when the owners go, why isn't my place getting rented? What's going on? My occupancy rates have dropped since last year. Guess what? Guess who can be the option for them? They could be like, well, guess what? I actually have an expert vacation rental designer who can come in, do a consultation. But the reality is people are picking better design places that stand out. I mean, it's not their fault, right? and create a systemized approach. What does that mean? People in my trainings know I'm very big on marketing, very big on systemizing it. You've seen a little glimpse of it, but you got to give them something of value that builds your credibility, like a budget guide, like a host list. Like I've already showed you, we have 3 Canva templates already in the training that already build your credibility. These are called sales funnel guides that you tailor, and you can change the color, change the photos, everything. This is the budget guide, and then even the investment guide that help them, right? Here's your budget guide. Here's what you need to know. And then from there, um, you can drive traffic to it. We give you the email follow-up for client follow-up. It's just your sales funnel. So before you know it, they're booking discovery calls with you, and you never had to lift a finger. So it's called an automated marketing system. Yeah, streamlining it all. Um, did you guys know that there are Airbnb websites that have your ideal target market's contact information listed? Yes, there are. So cool. So easily create that process, contacting, providing value, build your credibility. It sells your clients, because here's the truth of it. It's okay to say no to the wrong client. It's okay to say no to the client who doesn't have the budget, where you're not going to make the money that you want to make doing this, because you're going to be reaching out to a lot of different clients. If you put this system in place and it's just feeding you leads, you're picking and choosing. You can only do so many projects a month. And if you have 10 clients who desperately want you, guess what you end up doing? Do you guys know? Put it in the chat room. You end up raising your prices. So it helps you to pre-qualify. They want you. It allows you to position on authority, expertise, credibility. And you are dealing with business-minded target markets who care a lot about their investment. They care a lot. And they care about their time, they care about that, and they appreciate you, and they'll pay for it. All right. So who do you think they're going to trust with their most important real estate investment? Someone like that has all of those, that looks professional, is credible, understands it, or someone who does not? And here's the deal, there's usually more than one investment property. So setting up that intentional marketing system, the onboarding, it weeds out, I hate to say it, but your Walmart budget clients, those are not your clients. You will burn out very quickly if you're constantly assembling furniture. There's no fun. Hosts will be wowed by you. And instead of selling, you're just exploring in the phone call. Because at the end of the day, you guys know I always end my workshops like this: confidence comes from knowledge. So investing in your learning inevitably leads to more confidence. And in this case, it's not just your learning, it is the resources. Basically, we have put them all together in this training. So I hope you decide to join me. Even if you don't, that's fine. But here I can take questions on the training to become a vacation rental design expert. I hope you're excited about this industry. It is blowing up. That is basically 9 modules. I kind of showed you a glimpse of each one. You're going to get, I'm doing something different where we're going to join as a group. There's going to be open comment, open insights, and there's a button below, I think you can see it, where you can see the buy page. It'll open up a new window if you want to take a look at it. You're going to get complete group and trainer support. And it's designed like all my trainings, where it's online at your fingertips. You can always refer back to it, which is a beautiful thing. And it is copy and paste materials. You've seen a glimpse here, but it really is, from the forms, the Canva templates, the credibility. It's all there. And my whole goal is to make you look good. And wait till you see my marketing section. Will the course help how to contact owners? Yes, Angela, it will. I've got some real good treats for you. Yes, I do, Sophia. I expand on luxury design a lot. That's where I want you to be, is in the luxury design arena, obviously with the trade companies I'm connecting you with. So you're becoming the short-term rental expert, then you become the designer of choice for this industry. I know you already are in your own industry, but I got to tell you, there's some tweaks here. And then you're going to have my signature system for success. And if you have not taken my other courses and you don't have a business at all, my staging course is probably the perfect one to start in, staging and redesign. But if you do have a business, I hope you're excited about this industry. Yes, Heidi, why not? The principles are the same internationally. Yeah, it is the same. The Canva templates, the resources, they're all there for you. So yes, you can use this for international. Amy asked, do you need to sign up for the e-design course if you want to create vision boards? No, Amy, you don't. In this course, I talk about vision boards and I show you design files and how to use design files just briefly and how to do that with clients. So no, you don't. It would be helpful because you get all of the boards that go into my e-design. My e-design course, the real value is you get 100 board templates in your account when you take that course. That is the huge value of that course. But you don't need to. You can use design files as the technology. And in this course, I walk you through how to use it, how to combine the trade and the retail and create that vision. There's nothing in the mail. This is all online at your fingertips. And yes, I do talk about an automated invoicing system, Avita, in the process point, and that would be a system like a Honeybook. Oh yeah, Natasha, of course I have a whole module on how you would price this service because there's a secret to pricing it and packaging it that of course I talk to you about. And that's where most people really flail. It's really not an easy. It's like how you would price. I mean, a lot of people struggle pricing their design services. So none of my trainings will leave you with any doubt on how to price your and package your services. Oh, Jody, congrats, you're in. Thank you. Yes, Cesar, I'm going to give you actual examples of packaging and pricing. And you know what I do? I give it to you in a Canva template too. So it looks all beautiful in your investment guide. I just didn't show it to you because that's kind of the secret sauce of my signature process. Moving to Maine. Oh, Lori, yeah, I know a lot of you guys live. And I think if you just start, you guys, if you didn't know about your area and Airbnbs, you just do a little research and you're going to see so much opportunity. Oh my gosh, yeah, Tatiana, her area is all about Airbnb. Oh yeah, if you live in Florida, done. So easy. Your challenge in Florida will be raising your prices and picking and choosing your clients. That is the big reason why I spend a lot of time on process, weeding out the clients that you don't want, and packaging and pricing so that you're making good money on each project. Yeah, Francesca asked if the course results in a design designation. I haven't set that up yet, but it will. Yeah. When you watch every single video in the course, you will get the Vacation Rental Design Expert. That's a design. And just so you know, we have this logo in several different kind of cute little colors. So if blue's not your thing, don't worry. We have it in black, white, whatever. I just liked the blue. Okay. You guys are great. Cheers to you. And hopefully I will see you inside.